Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to this week's Monday Motivation. The Monday Motivation that's designed that's designed to motivate your Monday, your morning, and your week. And this week is no different because we're going to talk about motivation and great ways to just keep motivated this week. And it's funny that the lovely Eunice pops up because I was just contemplating sending her a message to ask her a question, and I thought, oh, let me do the Facebook Live first so I'm not late, and then I will. So Eunice, watch out for your inbox straight after this. Very synchronistic that you've popped up on here. So I know that Eunice is based in the UK, but do pop a comment below, say hi, and thank you for the love hearts as well. It always makes a difference when you get up early, put yourself out there. The sun has risen, it's bright, it looks like it's going to be an okay-ish day, not that I'm a weather person, so it looks like our day is good. So if you, like Eunice, that says, good morning Jenny, saying good morning to you. Hey, I should have got my glasses, let me put my glasses on so I'm not pulling funny faces. We've got a few of you on this morning. We've got the gang on, Ivona. We've got Phyllis. Hey, good morning Phyllis, and good morning Ivona. So thank you for popping on. And this morning I thought this would be a really great subject. Really great ways to keep yourself motivated, even though for some of you feel like you're wading through treacle. It's how things are panning out. And for others, you feel full of the joys of spring. So let's keep an equilibrium, shall we say, and to help keep everybody in this gorgeous spring vibe that we're starting to see. So I'm just checking something on here just to make sure. Okay, so motivation and support, how does that work? Well, I am spinning plates at the moment myself. I don't often feel overwhelmed, but I've come close in the last week or two. Got a lot of things to navigate, a lot of things to do, and there are a few things that I realised even before this period of busyness. I am having an event on the 25th of this month for 3 days, 3-day online live event. I'm really excited about that because even though the topic essentially is visibility and ways to put yourself out there in this new kind of 2020, 2021 environment, a lot of the content is new, a lot of the things that I'll be sharing will be different, and it's meant kind of almost like starting again, working from the ground up and doing that. In between that, of course, I've been doing the same things, servicing my private clients, putting myself out there so that more people know about me. I've had a number of conversations with companies, which is really promising that companies are putting, looking out there for people to work with, to take on people, whether you're a consultant, a coach, or work with companies in different ways. If you work with people, you actually work with companies, but that's a story for another time. So it's been really promising having those calls with all sorts of people, from directors, HR teams, creative directors even, office managers, and having those conversations. And of course, all of those mean a lot of activity going on. So I wanted to share a couple of things that I think will be helpful in this phase. So the first thing that I want to say is so many of you gorgeous vibers in the Visibility Vibes tribe, and sometimes you worry about, well, what can I put in there because will anybody listen to me, what's the point, it's not my group and all of that thing. Well, the first thing that I want to say is it's our group. We all post in there, we all share, and sometimes the thing that you share might kind of just be the thing that somebody else needs to hear. So that's the first thing that I wanted to say. So if you don't feel like you've got a space here on Facebook where you can put things without kind of like the prying eyes of work colleagues or family members outside of your personal page, then by all means do hop over to the Visibility Vibes Tribe Facebook group. And if you're new to this and wonder where that is, if you look at the top there, you'll see a button that says join group. You'll be asked 3 very simple questions. They take like 30 seconds to answer. And once you've answered those, then I personally will go in and approve you in the group. And I will do that today, even though today is Coaching Monday. So So I'd love to have you in there, and that way you can share the kind of things that are coming up for you, the things that are brilliant, the things you might be worried or struggling with, the things that you might need help with, all those sorts of things as well. And I have to say, it's a really lovely, soft space for you to land. So I just want to say that too. I love that you all say morning. Hey, we've got Joy on as well. Good morning, Joy. So first, yeah, you know that feeling as well. Fabulous getting recognition. Yeah, well, it never stops, does it? It never stops. It changes. It goes through levels. I'll be talking about that actually at the event, because there's some myths and misconceptions of things that happen when people either think they're not visible or think that's it. I've hit a ceiling or a plateau. Anyway, this morning I wanted to talk about motivation and support. So the reason that I talk about the group wasn't necessarily like a plug for the group, but just to remind you, it's a really great space that you can go in and dump. And I know generally I have been feeling full of the joys of spring, lots of excitement, lots of great things happening. So, you know, even within my group, if there's something that I'm challenged with, I'll share it. I'll normally share it through a small Facebook Live. I tend to show up there daily, kind of Monday to Friday. And I tend to share with you things that I might not share out here so publicly, because, you know, I sometimes feel the story in things, the lesson in things, and it can serve someone else. But anyway, what I wanted to offer in terms of motivation and support is have a look at what you're doing. I look quite frequently at, am I doing too much? You know, do I need help with things? And what I do try to do, and I'm getting better at doing, is I get better at asking for help before I actually need the help. So even though I feel a bit like, oh, you know, really, is that a bit excessive? Is it a bit extravagant? Ask for help before you need the help. So here are a couple of things that you can take into your day. And what I would invite you to do, and thank you for the love hearts. Oh, I've just seen my old mate, Jonathan. You know who you are, Scat, who's actually known of me for 31 years. Wow. But anyway, I digress. I just wanted to give you a couple of things that I found helpful, and also a few things that I know that some of the people that I coach, and sometimes, you know, people that I have conversations with, find helpful. So why did I talk about support? Yes, there's my group on here, of course there is, but there are lots of other groups, not only here on Facebook, but in lots of other spaces. I am actually part of a couple of masterminds. 3 at the moment, which sounds excessive and sounds a bit, ooh, look at you. I don't say it because of that. I say it because it means that whether I'm having a great day or whether I'm literally like this, that there are places that I can go to and speak to people who understand, they don't judge, they look for help, they give you encouragement, and to have those pockets of places in your life actually do make a difference to how we navigate this pandemic. When, you know, all around you the world is losing their head, then it offers a really great place. So here are a few things that I think will help when it comes to motivation and support. So one of the first things I would say is we often have, as humans, we have a habit of making things more complicated than they need to be, which if you think about it, makes sense. You're like, onto the cosh, you've got too many things to do. I know that the Facebook thumbnail will come out with me doing this, but hey ho, you know, you've got too many things to do, you're under the cosh, you feel under pressure, you feel like you're being pulled in different directions. That's normally a sign that somehow we have overcomplicated it. And I've seen this, even in the last few weeks, from people overcomplicating how they put themselves out there in business, to people overcomplicating what it means to show up on video. I literally, you've got some daffodils here which are finely opened, whipped my hair up in a bun, I've got no makeup on, I've got my hoodie on, and I'm using my phone. And the only reason I'm not holding my phone out is because I don't want my arms to ache so early in the morning. This is one example of keeping things really simple, not complicating it, not overcomplicating it. So think of the thing, maybe, or things that when I was talking about feeling under pressure, feeling under the cosh, there'll be some specific things in your life that came to mind. If you've like got your phone by you or piece of paper and a pen, just make a note of what those things are. I mean, obviously you'll know, this is your life, but make a note of what those things are and take them one by one. Like literally, just give yourself a couple of minutes. I promise you, it will have the dust settle. Have a look one by one and ask yourself, like, how can I keep this really simple? Or for some of you, you'll wide another way, ask like, how can I have this be easy? Is another great question. Sometimes I'll literally shout at myself, let this be easy. I'll sit back, I'll think. You know, one of the things that I realised in the run up to the event is the help that I normally have in certain areas I didn't have. In fact, let me share a story. I think I saw Ian on here. He'll love this story because Ian was really the person that I should have just called. Over the weekend, I'd made a video about the event coming up. Again, this time I did have makeup on. I had a nice dress on, but I made this video, and I wanted to demonstrate that I do this literally from home. So I did this cool thing where I was able to hook up my phone as well and show that I was sitting at my kitchen table. And as I went to go back onto the video, because it was on my phone, it showed my screen, which would normally be okay if it didn't show people's names and the beginning of messages that they'd sent me, which you might say, well, in a video, it doesn't matter, it was on there, it was 3 seconds actually. But what if the person is nosy by nature like me and says, oh, hold on a second, what does that say? Rewinds it back and pauses it. Then you can see the person's name, you can see the beginning of their messages, you could see some PayPal notifications of payments coming in and payments going out and who they were from. And I was just like, oh. Now, anyone who's followed my work will know, one of these keep it simple things that I run by is that I teach you to do video with your mouth, your arm and your phone. I teach you to do it in one take, no scripts, no editing. So now I'm challenged. I need to edit these 3 seconds out of the middle. I can do that. I thought, I don't do it very often, it doesn't take me very long. Do you know that it was over 24 hours before it was resolved? And I would have spent maybe 4 hours looking at, you know, for videos on how to do this in the middle, looking at whether I should do it on YouTube, whether I should do it on my Mac, whether I should do it on iMovie, you know, where I should do it. And I literally drove myself nuts. And the weird thing was, all the time I thought, Ian would know the answer to this. And I didn't contact him. Why? Because it was over the weekend. And I was like, I'm now not officially working over weekends, although I did do a bit of work this weekend. I don't want to disturb somebody, and trust me, like, I'm totally happy to pay. But who likes the kind of clients that contact them and go, I need your help now, don't mind paying for it, kind of drop what you're doing. So I really overcomplicated it for myself, and actually it took me a lot longer than I wanted. It made me all ranty, you know, the poor man got me ranting and being all like, this is doing my head in. And this is because, she says coughing and making a funny noise, this is because I decided I was going to try and do it all by myself, something that's not my area of expertise, not my zone of genius at all. So there was another reminder for me, let this be easy. It was complicated to me. So anytime that you feel something's complicated, doing your head in, find yourself doing this or thinking like, have a look at how you have inadvertently overcomplicated it. And coming out of that, there's some like other things. So, you know, a few moments back I said, write a list of all the things that came to mind that that you've got on your radar that you need to make easy. As a result of that, when I woke up this morning, I was like, okay, this thing now, I can make it easy or I can make it hard. I can go for this thing, or I can make it easy. And I thought, right, I know the perfect person to contact, whether they're available or not, is don't get into that, just contact them, find out and see what happens. Let it be easy. If they are, brilliant. If not, what's the next easy option? So really keep it simple. Keep it simple, which is a kind of a kiss, but not with a double S. I don't like the phrase keep it simple stupid, because when you call yourself stupid, that starts you off on a very demotivational start. So that was the first thing. The second thing is, people often say, remember that you are enough. And that can land a little patronisingly on some people's ears, like, oh, you're good enough. And they're thinking, I'm not, because I can't get this thing done. So I would encourage you, something that one of my mentors actually phrases it better. She says, go for good enough. So I would invite you to accept that what you're doing in the way you're doing is good enough. You know, when I had the snafu with the video over the weekend, I knew that I could not share this far and wide and publicly with the 3 seconds in the middle. I don't care if I mess up, I cough, I sneeze, I stutter over my words, but I do care about disclosing private information. So my only job, once I realised how to edit this, was just to edit those 3 seconds out, not to go, oh, well, let me edit this bit and edit that bit, leave the rest of it and have it be good enough. And the reason why this is important from a motivational standpoint is that you know, if you do that, you feel that kind of vibe of, you know what, it's okay, it's done. As Tiny Temper says, it's okay, I'm good. You know, think about that. Have that be your mantra for this week. Listen to that song, you know, but have it be, it's okay, I'm good. And feel that. And move on to the next thing. So Joyce says, gosh, do I have to put my glasses on? Ho for good enough. Yes, I definitely need to do that. So do I. So should we do it together this week? Like, not just this morning, not just this Monday. This week, we'll borrow Tiny Temper's lyrics, copyrights to whichever record company that is. I don't own them. Let's keep reminding ourselves, it's okay, I'm good, and move on to the next thing. And then the third thing that I want to share is, remember what it is you're heading for, you're going for. Now, this can really scupper people up, which is another great reason to be in a group where you can ask people these things. You think, yes, Ivona's in. Me, Joy and Ivona are in for the Tiny Temper Challenge. It's okay, I'm good. I need to write this down, because later on, after I've done a couple of coaching calls, I will say to myself, what was it I said again? I don't listen back to these videos. So I'm writing it down. My mantra for today and probably this week, it's okay, I'm good. Do you know when else that's a good thing to say? Just by the way, talking of like the focus on mental health and all of that. So when people phone you up or contact you, text you, WhatsApp you, however they contact you and go, oh my gosh, it's a nightmare, we're still in lockdown, isn't it awful, blah, 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 blah. And almost like the presupposition then is for you to go into the, yeah, it's really bad, blah, blah, blah. You can say, it's okay, I'm good. My flowers finally opened. A little afro of daffodils there, you know? You can say, actually, it's okay, I'm good. I just left my computer and went out for a walk. It's okay, I'm good. I went to the shops, bought some chocolate, ate it all to myself. Or bought some chocolate and shared it with friends, family. Or didn't share it at all. It's okay, I'm good. So I really like that mantra for this week. So thinking about the things that we have to do and going for the things that we have to do, break them down. I have spent more hours overthinking and almost worrying about, well, there's this and there's this and there's this and there's this, and I can only do one thing at a time. So, you know, whilst I was having the video snafu, that had to be my focus. There's no point me thinking, oh, and I need to do this. So now I've ticked that off the list. I've got an hour between my next call. After this and on to the next thing, I will have some porridge, sustain me and, you know, get me built up for the day. I'm going to attempt to drink this water by lunchtime. That's about 75 centilitres, which I know isn't a lot, but, you know, anyone who's on a call with me today, keep shouting at me, drink. By all means, if you're back on Facebook and you come back to this video, type drink. And do share it with your friends, because they might need to drink more water too. They might need to hear it's okay, I'm good too. So what I will be doing is today, especially as I could go into a feeling of overwhelm and too much to do, I will be looking at, well, what needs to happen next, one thing at a time, marking it off. Once I've done that thing, then go on to the next thing. Once I've done that thing, then go on to someone else. But I hear you say, what if I have a deadline, I've got to hand something in? Well, then maybe that just goes to the top of the priority of the list. It's that you do first. Once that's done, you pat yourself on the back, you treat yourself, a bit of extra chocolate maybe, or something else that you like, and then you go to the next thing. Maybe if you're doing a computer heavy stuff, take a break from the screen, run round the block and come back. So yes. So Ivona says, I'm thinking Pollyanna. Oh yes. So that's another thing as well. So let me recap. If you are feeling that you need some motivation, don't try and do it by yourself. Don't try and tolerate anything. Get some support. And one of the ways you can get the support is, of course, with other people, but support yourself. So if you're not already part of a group, a supportive group, join a group. I know that I'm a coach, and I know you'd expect me to say work with a coach, which is one option, but actually, sometimes when you're under the cosh, that's not the thing to start doing right there and now. As long as you've got support of people that absolutely have your back. And bizarrely, during these times, I think sometimes it's almost like the love of strangers that can have our backs more. Our family know us, they worry about us, they steer us into the, well, I think you should do this because they want to protect us, and sometimes that's not the most helpful. So that's a couple of the ways to do that for yourself. And then keep it simple, know that it's good enough. Tiny temper, it's okay, I'm good. The mantra for the week. And then think about the things that you want to achieve and really break them down. Even if it's the same thing, like I know, for example, that Ivona is doing some counsellor study, and I think she's already a natural at this. And it could be that she has to hand in an assignment which has got a few different pieces to it. Well, the best thing that she might want to do is to break down those different pieces into singular pieces and take them one bit at a bit. A bit like eating a bunch of grapes. Don't put the whole bunch in your mouth, just take one, eat one grape, eat another, maybe put two in, but eat one at a time and the whole bunch will soon be gone. Hopefully helpful. Please do remember to share this with friends, and the best way I think to share this is just to share this on your personal timeline, because you never ever know who might need to hear this. The other thing you might do is, if you know someone particularly who's been worried about this or struggling with this, then when you hit share, you can send it to them as a private message, so no one else sees that you've done it. The thing that I would say is, if you share it, let them know why you're sharing it. Don't just share the link, because if you do that, you'll probably get something back saying, have you been hacked? Which if I've done that in the past, has happened. And then the other thing that's been on my mind, especially for those of you in the Vibe Tribe, I am thinking, if you remember, say a few weeks back now, it would have been about, February, beginning of February, Friday night after work, we had a DJ in there. I'm thinking of doing that again. So I thought, if you are a part of the Vibes Tribe, maybe I'll put a thread in there, or maybe just post in there and say yes to the DJ, or if you genuinely aren't feeling it, no, don't fancy it, Jen. But I thought that was a really good thing to do on a Friday evening, so it's not too late, it doesn't eat into family time or weekend time. I think we had him on at 6, I can't remember now, was it 5:30 or 6? Just for an hour. I was so happy to pay him for that hour. It was such a great way to lift our spirits, but I'm thinking of doing it again. It was just so cool. So if you fancy it, I can see already that you're posting below. If you fancy that, then we'll do it again. The DJ was so good. His name, if you're looking for him on here, is Mr. Nash. Tag him in here, you'll probably think, what the hell is going on? We want Mr. Nash. We want Mr. Nash. But I'd quite like to do that again. But I don't want to be self-indulgent, although I could be. I just think if you guys would like it, and so many people missed out on it last time, go into the group, post into the group, alert the group so that, they get to see the post and it's not just me always asking. And let's see, should we do that again? Anyway, thank you so much for joining me this Monday. I feel like in a time when I am too spinning a lot of plates, there's a lot of stuff, I want to say it's okay, I'm good. Tap into this spring energy. I keep pointing to the daffodils, but tap into this spring energy. It's almost like people are starting to wake up, things are starting to wake up, and we're starting to get revived again. So I look forward to hearing your shares either below here or in the group. I will take some time while I'm making my porridge to just go back and read some of the comments and respond to those comments. And I have a number of calls today, some coaching calls, some accountability buddy calls, and a lot of stuff to do in between. So I'm going to go for good enough, as my mentor says, and I'm also going to keep reminding myself, you know what, it's okay, I'm good. So Joyce said, can I have a badge? It's okay, I'm good. Yeah, I think we should tweet Tiny Temper and say, you have motivated us with this line, because I obviously don't want to claim that lyric. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for lifting my spirits and motivating me on a day that's been busy. Thank you for joining live. I love it when you all comment and interact live. And I love that Ivona said, go Mr. Nash. So let's make that happen. Given that in 2 weeks' time I've got my event, it might not happen before. In fact, it's unlikely to happen before. Otherwise, I'll give myself something else to do. But I definitely will be looking to do that as soon as we can. Yeah, let's have a little boogie. Let's have a little dance. Anyway, thank you for joining me. Thank you for sharing the love, the likes, and everything else between in the comments. Have a really great Monday, morning and week, and happy Monday. Here's to your motivation. Bye for now.